Now this was sort of a last minute creation, but... Ooh. I think you're really gonna like the review I've concocted here. Oh, and by the way, happy birthday, Sloan. This is for you. Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy back with another video for BCG Disney Week. And today I've cooked up a special review for you all as I'll be reviewing the Pixar film Ratatouille. So Ratatouille follows a rat named Remy with a strong sense of smell and taste who dreams of becoming what everyone in France dreams of becoming, a master chef. And from the looks of it, he just might get his wish because after being separated from his family, he washes up underneath the kitchen of a once popular and critically acclaimed restaurant called Gusteau. There, he sees Linguini. Seriously, a character named after a food dish? I guess we couldn't escape that cliche. Who epically screws up a soup dish, causing Remy to react, fall into the kitchen, and start tinkering with the dish so that it can smell and taste good. But in the process of doing that, he gets caught by Linguini. They end up serving Remy's soup to a customer, and she ends up liking it and spreading the word of how good it was. And all the credit went to Linguini, who was just standing by the soup at the time. And so the head chef like, okay, we'll give you a chance. We'll let you start cooking here. But I want you to make that dish again, and I'm going to be watching you very closely. And so now, Linguini is in a conundrum because he is inept in cooking. He can't cook at all, but he knows the individual responsible for that dish. And so he forms an unlikely alliance with Remy, and together they make delectable dishes for their customers and try their best to keep their partnership a secret. Now I know plenty of you find this review to be out of left field, to say the least. Why all of a sudden is Tony reviewing Ratatouille? What, for BCG Disney Week? Is that the reason why? Well, that's one of the reasons, but it's one of the smaller reasons. The main reason why I'm reviewing this film is because today is my good friend Sloan the Female Otaku's birthday. And when I learned that her birthday fell under BCG Disney Week, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to review something that she loves from Disney. So I asked her, what's her favorite Disney film? And she asked me, does Pixar count? I said, yeah, Pixar does count. Well, Ratatouille is my favorite Pixar film. When I heard that, I went... oh, Ratatouille, huh? Okay, well, I'll give it a shot. Why such the mild reaction? Well, just like Howl's Moving Castle, when I first saw Ratatouille, I found it to be quite overrated. I didn't understand the appeal of the film, and at the time, it was my least favorite Pixar film. Not saying that it was bad, it's just it didn't have much to really attract me. So fast forward to 2016, Sloan makes the request. I say, okay, I'm gonna watch and review it just for you. And after watching it, guys, I have to say, I've misjudged you, Ratatouille. I've misjudged you. Now here's a little something about me that I don't think I shared with you guys before, but I think that this is as good a time as any to tell you guys this. I love cooking. I love everything about it. The process, gathering the ingredients for the dish, the sound the food makes as it sizzles on the grill or sizzles on the pan, the sound of boiling water, the smell of the food that hits you in the face as you're cooking it, the delight of completing a dish to perfection, and the pleasure of eating it and seeing other people enjoy it as well. In fact, I love cooking for other people more than I love cooking for myself. I love seeing the look on their face when they take a bite of my food and they're like, oh my god, this tastes incredible. That to me made everything before it worth it. And you would think that a film like Ratatouille would appeal to me since I do have a deep love for cooking. And I must say, seeing it again after so many years, and trust me, it's been quite a while since I've seen Ratatouille, it finally clicked with me. I loved the cooking aspect of this film. Seeing the chefs in the kitchen as they're preparing their dishes, the passion, hard work, and effort that they put into it, Remy's passion for cooking. I mean, I really related with Remy and his love for cooking. That's how I felt whenever I start cooking and stuff. I'm so passionate about what I'm making. In fact, one of my favorite scenes in this film is where Remy is like tasting a grape and cheese, and it's like a black background, but you see these like swirly colors popping around. He gets a different sensation whenever he's tasting the food. That's the same feeling that I get whenever I taste something incredible, delectable. The last time I felt that was about a year ago when I went to this sushi place and I tried this thing called a hamachi pop, and when it went into my mouth, it felt like fireworks. It was amazing. It was a sensational feeling. I loved it. Now, just like Studio Ghibli, it should go without saying that the animation here is fantastic. Top notch, and I expect no less from Pixar. They always deliver fantastic animation. But one thing I want to give props to this film is that Ratatouille has, without question, the best cinematography I've ever seen in a Pixar film. I mean, not only do they have great landscape shots, but whenever you have the camera following Remy as he's walking through or crawling through the nooks and crannies, or he's like walking through the ground and stuff, that looked so incredible to me. Not only because it looks so cool as the camera's like just following him as he's weaving and ducking and dodging and diving and stuff, but it also helped to capture the terrifying feel of being a rat. It made me feel like I was on the ground crawling with Remy too, and it's freaking terrifying. The world looks so huge. They really did a good job at capturing that feeling, what it feels like to be a rat walking through life. The score here was also stellar, capturing the essence and tone of not only cooking, but of France. Now for me, the story is pretty basic, but well told. It's the simple tale of an individual that strives for greatness, but is beaten down time and time again and told that they can't do it because society won't accept them, or their parents just don't like it. They want them to follow the path that they set up for them, but their kid keeps veering off and going on their own way. In fact, one of the most interesting conflicts in this film is the arguments between Remy and his father. In fact, the arguments that they have are very similar to arguments that me and my father have, so I kind of related to Remy in that part where I clash with my father a lot. But later on, they find somebody that they can team up with to help them achieve their dreams, but they have to keep their partnership a secret, which leads to a lot of people being very curious about what they're doing. Their behavior just seems kind of weird, and so they're trying to expose their secret. Time goes by, there's a lot of conflict in the middle, and you have the two characters that had the partnership kind of having a falling out in the middle of the film, but then they all come back together, they beat the bad guy, and everything's fine, everything's hunky-dory, happily ever after type ending. We've seen that type of story beat by beat in other films before. But it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And the journey to the destination was really enjoyable. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the story. And now time for a quick fan art break. Can totally get behind the message, or should I say messages, of the film. Not only does it tell the great message of anyone can be great as long as they put their heart and soul into it, but it also tells the message of accepting oneself. Throughout the entire film, Remy is battling between two identities, rat and human, and he can't seem to find a balance between the two. He doesn't know where he fits, he doesn't know where he belongs, but he realizes that he belongs in neither groups. He is his own person, and I love seeing the character kind of accept who he is and say, you know what, I'm not gonna pretend to be a rat. I'm not gonna pretend to be a human. I'm just gonna be me finally. I'm gonna be who I am, and if people can accept it, that's the way it is. I can get behind that. And with that said, I truly enjoyed a majority of the characters in this film. They're all likable and relatable to a certain degree. I kind of went on and on about Remy, but I really related with this character. I loved his passion for cooking. I loved his personality. His humor was on point, and Patton Oswalt did a good job voicing the character. Another character I really enjoyed was Colette. I loved her deep passion for cooking, and they did a really good job at displaying her knowledge of the craft. She knows what she's doing, and she is arguably the best chef in the entire kitchen. Maybe second to Remy, but I mean, they're both really good. I also liked her no-nonsense personality. I liked her relationship with Linguini to a certain degree, and I loved her tsundere-like tendencies. In fact, now that I look at this character, she kind of resembles another female that I know in my life, but I can't put my finger on who that is. Who could it possibly be? Oh, I forgot to mention that I also dug the relationship between Remy and Linguini. I found it to be very unique and dynamic, especially since Remy can't really communicate with Linguini, at least vocally. He has to be very expressive, nod his head, or like do some type of gesture or motion. That's how they communicate. But even though he can't speak to Linguini, you can tell that there is a connection forming between them. You sense that they're building a friendship, and they do have impeccable chemistry. And honestly, some of the film's best and most hilarious moments revolve around Remy and Linguini. Whenever you see Remy controlling Linguini in the kitchen, or whenever they would have a conversation or an argument with each other. In fact, there's this one standout scene, or I should say montage, since it is a series of scenes, where you see Remy practicing with Linguini, learning how to control him, learning what his tics are, so that they can pull off the ruse that Linguini is actually a good cook. And I like seeing this because it not only shows the process of how they got from point A to point B, learning how to control Linguini so well that they can pull it off seamlessly, but it also helps to establish a sort of bond between them. They form a connection through the process of cooking. And the last character to truly stand out to me was the critic. Now, I won't lie, at first he does come off as a bit of a cliche baddie. You know, he's always brooding and angry. He has the dark shadows under his eyes. He wears a lot of dark clothes. Everything around him is dark and brooding. He's like, can't wait to take away everything that you love. Can't wait to ruin your reputation. I'm gonna give you such a bad review. You know, that sort of cliche. And with that, he didn't really come off as that interesting, but it's only until the end of the film where it takes a whole 180 and you kind of learn a lot about the character in just one brief scene. And I was like, wow, that makes so much sense, and it makes his character far more dynamic than I thought he would be. Not only that, being a critic myself, he says something nearing the end of the film that really hit me right here. His words resonated with me. It shook me to my core. And Peter O'Toole did a great job voicing the character. Hell, I didn't even know that was Peter O'Toole voicing the character. That was so interesting. But again, Peter O'Toole was one of the greatest actors to ever live, and so he gave a really phenomenal performance. Unfortunately, now we have to discuss some of the issues I had with this film. Sorry, Sloan. My biggest issue with Ratatouille, in fact, it's the epicenter for all of my issues with this film, is Linguini. Yeah, I just didn't care for this character. He came off as such a bore. And I get that he's not supposed to be the most charismatic, the most interesting, or most appealing character in the entire film, but if he's going to be one of the main characters, you gotta at least care for him. You gotta at least give him some sort of charm that makes him connect with other people. For me, I never connected with Linguini. He just came off as a nuisance to me. And I get, again, he's supposed to be the foil to Remy, who's very passionate about cooking and he knows so much about it. And then you got freaking Linguini, who's inept with cooking. You know, I get the dynamic of the relationship here. But you could have at least made Linguini interesting. You could have made him fun. Nothing about Linguini ever stood out to me, and I never really cared about him. And I cared even less for his relationship with Colette, which came off as incredibly forced to me. Why did we even need a romantic relationship in this film? Couldn't they just be friends? Couldn't they just be great colleagues that have great respect for each other? Why do they have to hook up by the end of the film? It just rung so untrue to me, and I never really felt like they built enough chemistry for them to form a romantic relationship. I felt more of a platonic relationship between them, sort of an admiration. I felt like Linguini admired Colette for all of her hard work and fortitude, and Colette admired Linguini for his artistry and seeing him work really hard. I felt that, but I didn't feel like, yeah, these two need to totally hook up with each other. I also couldn't really stand the other villain in the film. He just came off as way too cliche and cartoony to me, and I get that it is a cartoon, it's an animated film, but I mean, come on, this guy is just, he's too ridiculous. But you know what, guys? Even with those flaws, overall, I found Ratatouille to be quite an exemplary film that perfectly captured the joy of cooking. And I dare say, I think I might be falling in love with it. I have no idea what my younger self was thinking when he said that that film was overrated and he didn't get why everyone loved it so much. I get it. I finally see the light. Much like Howl's Moving Castle. And I'm gonna give this film a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think that it is one heck of a film and truly one of Pixar's best. But as always, guys, I'm not the end-all be-all opinion when it comes to Ratatouille. I would love to know what you guys thought about the film as well. Did you absolutely adore it? Is it your favorite Pixar film of all time, like Sloane's? Or did you find it really boring and dull? You could care less about cooking and rats? And let me know, what is your favorite cooking film? Comment below, let me know, and one more time, happy birthday, Sloane. I hope you enjoyed your present, and I hope you enjoyed that thumbnail that Ben made you. It looks incredible to me. I loved it. I was so happy at how it turned out. So again, hopefully your birthday was awesome. Stay tuned, guys. More videos for BCG Disney Week are on its way. I can't wait for you guys to see them. So excited. And as always, guys, if you'd like to support the Black Critic Guy just a smidge more, why not donate to my Patreon? Link is in the description. And if you'd like to send me any fan letters, send it to this P.O. box right up here. I'm going to be reading your fan letters on Friday this week and not Thursday because duh, Thursday, Thanksgiving, go be with your family. I'm gonna be with mine. And if you would like to see more videos on this channel, not miss out on a single BCG Disney Week video, hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm Tony Wallace II, the chef known as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.